Who is the man that would risk his neck for brother man?
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Well, I'm up on this ridge and I'm just kind of taking a look around. It's a ridge that I've always wanted to get onto, but I've just never had the opportunity to get out here. So I'm up here taking a look around. I'm not looking for anything specific, whether it be bear or, you know, mule deer, coos deer, mountain lion, whatever. I'm just up here seeing what's out here. So far, I've glassed up like 3 mule deer does and a whole bunch of rocks that I thought were coos deer. And if you've done much glassing, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, we're going to use this show as the opportunity to talk about broadheads. I know, controversial subject, and sometimes it's hard to beat the media hype, but I'm just going to go ahead and give you my opinion on broadheads. At the end of the day, broadhead selection is a personal choice. If you believe and you trust in a specific broadhead, then that's the broadhead you need to be shooting. So don't let me or anybody else out there tell you exactly what head to use. We're going to talk a little bit about what I use. Anyways. If you've ever watched the show, or if you've been watching the show for a couple of years, you guys know that I've used, fixed 2-blade broadheads for probably 10 years. It's just what I use. I used everything from Swickies to, Mangus stingers to German kinetics to now the solid broadhead. It's a new head that came out this last year. Anyways, those are the heads that I use. I use 2-blade fixed for a couple of reasons. First of all, I use them because I don't have a lot of kinetic energy. I've got a shorter draw length, so whatever energy I have to use, it has to be used for penetration. It has to get through the animal. So that's probably the primary reason. Another reason I use them is there's no mechanical parts to go wrong, and that's your choice. But that's just how I look at it. Also, I hunt relatively big animals. I hunt elk, and sometimes if I'm lucky, I'll go to Texas and hunt hogs. So I'll need something that brings it, and those 2-blade fixed broadheads do. Also, in years past, there used to be concern about, not being able to get those 2 blades to fly, and I was there. I was absolutely there. You'd pick up a dozen broadheads, and 4 of them you had to toss or use for rabbits or whatever. But the manufacturing processes have come a long way. My German silver flame kinetics and my solid broadheads, they're good out to 80, 90 yards and shooting tight groups. So the tolerances have gotten really, really good. And those broadheads are flying great. The key, again, always, is making sure you have a well-tuned bow. So out of a well-tuned bow, those broadheads will shoot with the best of them. Anyways, we're going to go out to the garage, and we're going to talk a little bit about each of the broadheads that I think are pretty good out there. So anyways, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Let's be honest, everybody. Most broadheads on the market today can get the job done. That being said, I'm not going to shoot through a car door, not going to shoot through a water heater, not going to shoot through a steel drum, not going to shoot through ballistic gel. I'm not even going to shoot at a ham covered with deer hide. What I'm going to focus on today is the overall flight characteristics, the workmanship, and the quality of materials of each of the head. Of all the broadheads I tested, the Mangus Stinger for me was the hardest one to get to group consistently. Not sure exactly what happened, tried all different kinds of methods, spinning the broadheads, lining them differently, tried a whole bunch of different techniques, and I could never get them to group consistently. Not sure what that is about, but it's a pretty good head, it's old school, it's been around for years, something you may want to take a look at if you're worried about costs. The overall workmanship's average. I wouldn't say it's great, wouldn't say it's bad. And it uses a 420 stainless steel, which is a pretty good material. It sharpens well and holds an edge. The next head I tested was the Red Feather Razorhawk. Not the best of the broadheads out there. It's not a huge production operation. The reason I wanted to incorporate this is because it is of the single bevel design. In other words, it's only sharpened on one side. Dr. Ed Ashby is the one that's really been pushing these over the last couple years, and the theory is that once the broadhead enters the animal, it starts to spiral. And if you want to test that theory, this is a good head to test it. It definitely spirals. It's a pretty good head. Again, the quality of workmanship maybe not there. They could do a couple things better. They got a great big screw on the ferrule and didn't like that. I only had one, so I couldn't see how well it grouped with other heads. But overall, it's a decent head. The next head we're going to talk about is the German Kinetics original silver flames. Just be aware that Alaska Bow Hunting Supply also has some silver flames, but they are definitely not of the same quality as the original German ones. So again, make sure you get the right ones. The German silver flames have flown awesome for me right out of the box. They're the sharpest broadhead I've ever seen. I don't want to say they're completely indestructible, but they are a solid head. I would definitely look at these heads if you're interested in finding a high level. The last broadhead we're going to talk about is the solid S30V. It's a great little broadhead. I'll be the first one to admit that it's a relatively new company without a huge track record, but they're doing some really good things. So it's a two-blade broadhead, but it has two little bleeders on them. It's the broadhead I used this last year. Shot my cruise deer at 55 yards. Blew right through him, stuck in a stump behind him. The deer never really knew what happened. So it's a great head. It absolutely flies straight. I would definitely recommend this broadhead. The quality is great. The workmanship is great. The tolerances are awesome. It came out of the box super, super sharp. So again, the solid S30V, take a look. One of the best things about this heads is you can use these heads with your Easton injection arrows, and there's not a lot of broadheads out there that you can do that. So again, give these guys a look. Definitely top of the class.